Hello guys, welcome to my review of the Fantastic Four First Steps. So I guess they start the film with them finding out Sue's pregnant, so we're kinda getting into this kind of storyline where they're introducing like their very powerful kid, Franklin, which I've seen a bit of in the comics. So it's gonna be cool to actually see what Franklin turns into, yeah. But and yeah, this as just saying, to me we still haven't really got the perfect Fantastic Four film. At least there's some people that really like this film, but to me it's not fully there. I'd still say the 2000s, like 2005, 2007, Fantastic Four is the best we've got. I mean, this definitely is a step in the right direction. Don't get me wrong. It's just they didn't really spend enough time to build like chemistry and stuff like the 2000s one had. Because just be watching it, man, like the chemistry was just the best thing about that Fantastic Four. And then actually getting to see them save people, where they're kind of like the biggest issue I'd say of this film is how they just skip so much through the years and not really getting to see them save people that much. It's more like off screen. You kind of do see a little bit when they're kind of flash forwarding, like all the things they've done in the 4 years, because they've been the Fantastic Four for 4 years. But it would have been nice to spend a little bit more time them actually, becoming the actual Fantastic Four and then, saving people. I feel like Superman easily is the best film this year and the best superhero film this year, and actually showed, actually saving people way better than this film. Yeah, because the minute just focus on Galactus very, very quickly, to the point where it kind of changes the vibe of the film instantly. We didn't get to spend more time with them, having fun and stuff, and just seeing them be the Fantastic Four. And me watching the 90s show, that also kind of made me probably affect this film even more, because that's just like the perfect form of how it should be. And then kind of, am I really going to bring Incredibles into this? Yeah, because Incredibles, you could say that's probably the best Fantastic Four film we've ever got, and it's not even Fantastic Four. It's literally made by Pixar, but to me it kind of captures what the Fantastic Four should be in a movie form, like from how they were in the animated series and the comics. Like, I just feel like we haven't fully got there yet. I mean, this actually did come close, but they just decided to skip a lot of it and focus straight on Galactus, and then the Silver Surfer, which I guess is a woman now, which I guess, but I mean, going into this, that was the only nitpick I had. Like, the Silver Surfer being a woman was just a bit much. And yeah, you get to see Mr. Fantastic being Mr. Fantastic. He plays, like, Pedro Pascal. He definitely plays playing as Mr. Fantastic well. Sue Storm's cool. Ben definitely cool. I mean, it's basically Witchy from the Bear. And I like how they have a scene where he's actually cooking too, because he's cooking for him. And Johnny Storm's good too, but they're just not hitting the level of the 2000s cast. Like, man, they just, like Chris Evans and all them, they just knocked it out the park with their chemistry and just how they played the characters. It was just perfect. I'd say in this film, definitely get the Finn, like, perfect look, like how he does look in the animated series and the comics, like, perfect. Pedro Pascal is definitely good too, but I prefer the awkwardness of the 2000s one than just I'm super genius, I'm better than everyone. Well, it isn't like it's not like egotistic or anything, but you just know he's super smart, and yeah, you just want him to show up basically. Where I just love how more awkward the one was in the 2000s one. It just made him more lovable. But still, like I said, he did a great job as Mr. Fantastic, Pedro Pascal. I still wish we got Jim, but they just wasted him in Multiverse of Madness. And yeah, I'd say they definitely get the right cast, but even though I don't think it's as good as the previous ones. I love the 60s setting with a bit of futuristic stuff mixed in. Yeah, I mean, it's basically a different universe, so in a way this is not actually an MCU film, it's actually in a different universe. But I'm kind of surprised they didn't really link up things. Well, I haven't seen the end credit scenes because, yeah, I just didn't care. But yeah, but basically like teasing like this teleportation device, and of course I'm gonna get into spoilers, so just letting you know, because once we get into the Galactus stuff, because it comes very quickly. She's getting ready to be pregnant, but it ends up becoming a lot sooner once they try to take on Galactus. It seems like Ben has a love interest, which is kind of cool to see her from Orange is the New Black in this. Yeah, but yeah, I guess there's no Felicity in this universe, or I don't know if that would be basically his wife from the 2000s film, but at least she actually accepts him for who he is, instead of, you know, the Andrea actor who just completely abandoned him once he saw what he looked like. Yeah, so yeah. This is around better people, because man, the one in the 2000s was just so depressed at first once he turned, yeah, because his whole life fell apart. But yeah, and then this is when the Silver Surfer comes, the woman Silver Surfer. Even though I still don't think it should have been a woman, she does a pretty good job. Not as good as the Silver Surfer from the 2000s film, and it's not because she's a woman, it's because, I don't know, they just made him way more cool. And the way how she just came at the last minute, I mean, they kind of at least showed a bit more on the backstory of the Silver Surfer, with their original planet and stuff, and how it was taken, and, you know, kind of being forced to work with Galactus. Otherwise, I don't know. Because I don't know if there was a story where Galactus did destroy the Silver Surfer's planet, and he just felt like maybe Galactus is all they got at this point. And I remember watching the Silver Surfer animated show at one point, but I can't remember if he destroyed it or not. But yeah. But then having to be responsible for so many planets' death, even though they're not the ones who are doing it, but you're literally finding the planets for the Galactus. So, and then we do have something equivalent to the chase scene in you know, the Silver Surfer film, which that's literally the highlight of the film. Like, why is it the Silver Surfer, the chase scene? Like, that's just the best scene in the film. I mean, the dance scene's pretty good, you know, because I've already reviewed the films, but like that chase scene in the Silver Surfer, like, that's probably the best scene of that film. Yeah, if we're not talking about, you know, cringy funny scenes, yeah, because I love that scene when you see Mr. Fantastic dance and the thing he's doing his little groove. But yeah, he basically looks into her eyes and hears like some strange language, but it's like she's saying in like a calm way. And we get to find out what she's actually meaning later on, and he feels like he's probably heard that message before, which is another thing that ends up coming forward, I guess. Yeah. And he's trying to describe it, and it's just such a silly scene. Because sometimes when they do use comedy, this has been an issue with MCU for a bit now. They use it at the worst times when literally the world's flipping in danger. Or like in Shang-Chi, when like Shang-Chi's talking about his backstory and then someone just makes a joke. It's pretty stupid. I hate that kind of shit. But yeah, they're just getting ready to save the world, go to space again, just like they did when they first got the powers, to find Galactus. And I'd say they do the CGI for the space really good in this film. Probably the best I've seen in the film for a while. Getting to see Human Torch and her interact a bit more, because in I guess the 2000s when it was like Sue and the Silver Surfer kind of more reacting with each other, to the point where the Silver Surfer turns on Galactus and wants to help the Fantastic Four and save the Earth. So it's kind of going like in a similar direction, because it's a story you've seen before, but just actually getting to see Galactus, not a flipping cloud, actual Galactus. That's the best thing they did in this film. Yeah, easy. That's what I was looking forward to the most, like seeing actual Galactus, not a flipping cloud. Because they nailed Silver Surfer in the 2007 film, but Galactus in this, yeah. Though he doesn't feel like he was as strong as he's supposed to be. Like, man, if that was proper comic or even the animated show Galactus, Jesus, they'd be struggling. I mean, they didn't even defeat Galactus in the animated show. When they first fight Galactus, they had to try to get like some kind of weapon that could actually do something to Galactus. And I don't know if it's basically similar to what they basically do to Galactus at the end of this film, but it's only the Silver Surfer's help to actually defeat him. And I wasn't really paying attention enough to know what even happens to him. Yeah. But Galactus kind of speeds up the pregnancy because he wants the baby, because it's a powerful baby. It's flipping like Jack from Incredibles. And then they're able to like trap the Silver Surfer because, you know, she's chasing them. So I'd definitely say they used the Silver Surfer well, but like I said, not as good as the 2007 film. Like, perfect in that film. Yeah. But then they get Galactus a lot better in this film, because he was just a flipping cloud before. And then, you know, literally have a baby in space, and then they come back. But then they also reveal to the world that the world's still in danger by Galactus because we didn't want to give up our kid because Galactus wants our kid, and then everyone gets pissed off about that, and then they're trying to find another solution. But at the end of the day, would they give up their kid to save the world? I doubt it, unless there's just a terrible parent and they don't care. And yeah, they're able to work out what she was saying, I guess. I mean, she kind of tells what they were saying anyway, but it's kind of linked to like other things that I guess Johnny's heard before, and I think it's spread from other planets to the people that she's talked to. Yeah, and they end up working out what it actually means. Yeah, it even work out where she's from and everything. Yeah, and yeah, just a lot of talking scenes that I don't really care about. Them arguing at one point, thinking that he's like Mr. Fantastic. He just thinks too much about solutions and stuff to the point where he probably thinks of like a dark solution. He allows that to be a part of his mind. Thinking that, man, do I have to actually give up my son? And Sue's just I guess not liking that. But then it gets to a point where they work out they could try to teleport the entire Earth, and I'm surprised if that actually even worked, but we never really got to see it because the Silver Surfer came and destroyed most of them, but there was at least still one left, and they kind of like also set up another trap just in case that fails. Because I just wonder if they actually would have been able to move it, but Human Torch goes to stop her from destroying the last one, and basically uses that message against her to make her like feel bad for everything she's done, because she's probably killed beyond billions, trillions of people from other planets, all the worlds that she's helped destroyed. So yeah, I guess she feels bad, and then she just goes all the way up to space thinking, yeah, I've done a lot of bad stuff, and saying that there's not really much she can do, and then you just see her come back at the end anyway, which we'll get to. And they're just setting up like the backup trap, I guess. They're evacuating people so they don't get hurt, I guess. Yeah, and getting ready for the finale. It just goes by so fast, this film. And yeah, they got this guy, he's kind of the one helping to move him out, and I don't know if he was basically the mole man at the beginning, because they kind of touch on him a little bit, but yeah. And it's just so weird to see flipping the thing with a beard. I was like, where the hell did the beard come from? He's flipping made of what? How can you grow a beard? I never really thought that he could still grow facial hair. And some of the CGI on the baby is just a bit weird. Yeah. Sometimes we don't even need CGI. But yeah, they're basically using the baby as like a trap, I guess, so they can lure out Galactus. And yeah, just seeing Galactus in this scene is just very cool. But I just feel like he could have did a lot more. Like, Galactus should be way more dangerous. It's flipping Galactus. So when it comes to his power, he could have been better. Because to see Sue Storm hold him back, which I know Sue Storm can be strong, but Jesus. I mean, they all have to end up working together at the end. Because flipping the thing gets launched into space, but somehow Human Torch brings him back down, I guess. And throws him into Galactus, and finally says, it's Clover time, because he didn't want to say it the whole film, I guess. And then you get to see Mr. Fantastic probably using the best we've ever seen him use his power to get to Galactus to distract him. But then he ends up getting flipping ripped apart. So then he ends up seeing something worse than what we saw in flipping Multiverse of Madness with Jim. Yeah. But Ben saves him, and Sue's holding flipping Galactus back, so you could say she's probably the most powerful out of the people, out of the four. Maybe not physically, because obviously the Finn's the strongest, but by force, like, she's basically the strongest, has more of a stronger force than Galactus, because he has a similar ability, because you've seen him like chokehold Silver Surfer in one scene, forcing her to do his bidding. But yeah, she's just giving it everything she can, which ends up taking her whole life force, and she ends up dying just like she does in Rise of Silver Surfer. But in this scene, there's not really Silver Surfer to help, because she kind of, like, the Silver Surfer comes back to Earth and literally launches Galactus into the portal, and it ends up closing. So yeah, like, Human Torch was ready to sacrifice himself, because yeah, he wants to save the world and his nephew. But I just love how the Silver Surfer just knocks him out of the way and just does it instead. And then you get some good acting here. I'd say they made it a lot more emotional in the 2007 film. Like, man, the actor who played as Reed Richards in that film, he's like, he deserved the Oscar for his performance. Obviously Pedro Pascal, he did a pretty good job too, but just, It's like his whole world fell apart in the 2007 film where, obviously he's really sad, but you just don't see as much of the emotion in his face. Yeah, but he's trying everything he can to bring her back to life. But luckily they have a super baby, so it's able to use its power to bring her back to life. So man, they've got literally a baby that can bring characters back to life. So yeah, I should bring that baby in Doomsday and Secret Wars. But with where they end up, they didn't really bring the baby. So I wonder who's even looking after the baby when they're gone. Yeah, just that beard, man. But yeah. And then the movie ends up ending. The final scene's pretty funny. They was nearly gonna set up like a flipping Fantastic Five, but they think it's too soon. And you're just seeing them trying to put the baby in the flipping machine, leaving the show because they got to save the world and stuff. Yeah, it's a funny scene. It's kind of like equal to that scene in Guardians 3 where Nebula doesn't know how to flipping use a car properly, and then Star-Lord just ends up swearing at her. That's a hilarious scene. It's basically like that. Yeah, like with 3 of them literally struggling to just put a baby in the car. Yeah, it's funny. And the movie just ends, I guess. But other than that, yeah, I'd say it's good. It's not all that, but if you like it, then that's good. If you love it, really good, yeah. But to me, we still haven't got like a perfect Fantastic Four film. Because to me, we've just had like each film having certain things they do right, but then there's going into the next film they kind of take that away of what they did right and they just get something else right, but they're still getting the thing that they got right one. Like, there's no film that where they've actually got everything right, and for some people I guess maybe it has worked for them, like they literally got everything right in this film, but to me they didn't. The chemistry isn't the same like the 2000s film, but they got Galactus way better than the 2000s film. Silver Surfer was better than the 2007 film. What else? I mean, the looks probably the best in this film. I'd say I don't know if I was gonna rank the films that I've watched so far, because I still wanna someday watch the 1994 film, the unreleased Fantastic Four film, and basically the actual first Fantastic Four film. But from what I've watched, if I was just gonna try to rank them, I guess last place, obviously the 2015 film. That's still the worst film. But yeah, after that, Rise of Silver Surfer? I mean, can I say it's better than Rise of Silver Surfer? I think I can, but it's I don't know. It's just because literally the second act's just, there's not really much going on. There's just a lot of talking, and to me, like I said, it's not really the chemistry that they had in the 2000s film. So it's just I'm kind of getting bored, and yeah. Like, man, that's just the thing. So I have to actually put the Silver Surfer over this film. So the 2015 film, then First Steps, and whenever I watch the 1994 film, maybe I'll put that behind First Steps, so at least it won't be like second to last place. And then I guess the 2005 film is number one, because yeah, to me, I love that film. Well, I love it as in could I say I love the characters, because the film definitely isn't perfect. The scene where they're literally causing more chaos than actual good, because they end up causing a disaster on the bridge. But when it comes to like Doom and stuff, actually fighting him, that's just perfect, man. This is perfect. It's probably still the best fight scene we've seen in a Fantastic Four film, like just the final scene. I mean, the scene in Silver Surfer where Johnny gets all the powers was cool, but I don't know, it just didn't hit the same, even though like you literally because you don't really get to see the whole Fantastic Four working together. You just seen Human Torch taking everyone's power and using it to fight Doom on the Silver Surfer's board. I mean, it's still cool, but not like seeing all of them work together to defeat Doom. Not that cool. And the 2015 film was just that's all I got to say about that. And in this film, seeing them work together, it doesn't hit cool. It doesn't hit cool, and Sue Storm's mainly doing all the work anyway, so that's kind of an issue. Yeah. And then I guess I'll see how things will go in the 1994 film, and that's all I got to say really. If I was gonna rate this, man. Oh, man, this is actually a hard one. I'll just say 6.8. Kind of like similar to Man of Steel, because there was literally a part of the film where I was just like bored. It started off okay at first, because you could see some of their chemistry, but they were just skipping through so much, and then they introduced Galactus way too soon. And then the third act, I say, is good, but it's not 2005 good. Like that final part in 2005 was just perfect. And overall, to me, we still haven't got like a great 8 out of 10 Fantastic Four film. And Superman's way better than this film. Yeah, it destroys this film. Yeah, I'm just still surprised the film was that good anyway. Yeah, like, the more time goes on, the more better the Superman film becomes, to be honest. Yeah. Maybe I might increase the rating, but because one day I might actually watch every single Superman film, because I still haven't watched Superman 4. I've just seen people review that, like Chris Stockman, for example. I've seen his review of that many times, and it just looks trash. And I guess Supergirl wouldn't really count. So yeah. That's what I've got to say. Let me know if you loved the film, hated the film, or like in the middle like me. But yeah, I'm sure you can leave a like. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.